Hi everyone, I'm the Plant Propagator and welcome to my channel. Well, I am back in Southwest Florida and I am happy to be here. And it's nice when you get back and I'm looking through my garden and looking through my orchids, and there were lots of surprises in here. And what I want to do is just share some of those surprises with you. We're not going to take a look at all of them because there were a lot of them, but I want to show you some of the orchid surprises that essentially weren't here when I left and I got back, and I'm going to share just a few of those, like I said, with you right now. So these are three of the orchids, and I knew that these were coming, but still, when the flowers aren't open and you come back to either full bloom or close to full bloom on some of these plants, it's just a wonderful surprise. And then on top of that, these three really showed me some additional fragrance. So I'm going to start out with these three, and then we're going to take a look around at some of the orchids that I've got in my collection. And some of them I actually thought I have a first bloom that I thought would be open, but it wasn't. I've got some other ones that I thought they were first bloom. They would be first bloom, and after they open, I realized that no, I know what they are, and they've bloomed for me before. So I'm going to share some of those with you as well. I got a few things that I want to show you, but I don't want to get my video too long. So let me go over these guys first, and then we'll take a look at the ones that are around me and behind me. So this one right here, this is a Fred Clark hybrid. And when I first got this a few years ago, it was just a hybrid. It wasn't named. So this is Kaboom times William Farrell Native Son. And this has since been named Laura Santora. And this has bloomed for me previously, and I actually crossed this onto this right behind me. And I've got the progeny from this growing right over there. So I got a lot of them, and I'm happy with that. But the first bloom that I got from this is a... this is kind of a cream colored with a yellow lip, yellow throat, small flower, multiple flowers per spike. The plant isn't really that vigorous. It's not great, and I'm not going to do much with this. So I made a cross on this. The first flower that I got out of this, I crossed it, and I thought, well, sometimes people don't like to do that because supposedly the capsules drain a lot of the energy out of it. But it was about a year ago, and you can see it's blooming now. But the flower on it previously, it wasn't a great flower, and I thought, okay, first bloom, let's see what the second set of flowers look like. And they look like the first flowers. So whenever you get a hybrid, a true hybrid, not an awarded plant, not a clone plant, but whenever you get a hybrid, you don't know what you're getting. And this is not a great plant. I mean, it's nice, it's okay. You got multiple blooms per spike, which is nice. The flowers is nice and small and delicate, and the plant has flowered the same time this year as it did last year. But essentially the flower doesn't open all the way, so it's not really flat. It's kind of laid back. But most importantly, the throat, the lip on the flower doesn't fold back, and it doesn't open. So I mean, it's okay, but I don't think I'm going to use this in any more of my crosses, and I'm just going to kind of push this one to the side a little bit. Fragrance on this it's nice. It is just a classical Cattleya fragrance. I don't know how long it's been open, because it wasn't open when I left, 3 weeks ago, and it's open now. So I don't know if it was originally really fragrant. I don't have my previous notes on it. Don't tell me that. You know, again, it's growing okay, but I don't think I'm going to do much with it. So a nice, delicate, small flower, and a pretty consistent bloomer, and good growth under these conditions. Okay, moving on to this guy right here, and this has also bloomed for me previously. This is Thospal Spot times Secret Love. And this hybrid, the name of it, that's what it lists on the tag here, is that this is a cross. And I got this from, this is from Sunset Valley Orchids, Fred Clark, and this is from RF Orchids that I'm going to probably in about a month. I'm excited about that. But anyway, this is a hybrid that is just named after the two parents with a dash in between. So this is Thospal Spot dash Secret Love. And this is a nice plant. I like spots. I wish this one had some more spots. This is just it's a nice flower. It has some spotting. You know, it has decent coloration. The flowers aren't as flat as I'd like it to be, but this is still a nice plant. The fragrance on this is really nice. So I like, and I should say I've got 5 flowers on one spike, and this is what people like, is these small cattleyas that either have big flowers or lots of small flowers on this plant. So I like this plant, and I think I didn't use it last time it bloomed in my crosses, but I think I'm going to use it this time. I would like it to have a few more spots. The parent Thospal Spot has, as you might imagine, a lot of spots, but this one, they're there and they're pronounced, but it doesn't have a huge amount. But again, the thing that I like a few things about this plant, but the thing that I like the most because of me, oh gosh, this is a cotton candy rose, maybe herbal fragrance, and just nice. This is the type of fragrance that I just really like in orchids. So it's a combination of things. I think it's a complex fragrance, but just wonderful. It's late in the day here. A lot of times these orchids will put off their most of their fragrance first thing in the morning. So this is really fragrant right now. So I like this plant, and I put in my notes, I don't remember what I was going to cross it with, but I put in my notes what I wanted to cross this onto. Again, 5 flowers, spots. Oh man, really nice fragrance. Okay, moving on. Nice plant. I'm gonna be using it. It's still, it's pretty small. It's putting out some, new pseudobulbs all the way around. It does well. Good, good resistance. Just a nice, healthy plant. Okay, moving on to this guy, and this is one of my, even though it doesn't have a lot of the features that I consider to be my favorites, but this is ending up to be one of my favorite plants. This is Encyclia cordigera or cordigera. I mostly say cordigera. This has, I got this as a pretty small plant from Palmer Orchids a few years ago. And last year, for the first time, it sent out on one big, really plump pseudobulb. It sent out just a really nice long inflorescence that had a lot of flowers on it. This year, it put out 2 big plump. I mean, look, this is one of the coolest things about this plant. Look how plump these new pseudobulbs are. This is a nice plant. I don't think it's me. I think this plant is just nice. So this is Encyclia cordigera. I think there's a single quotes. I don't know if this is a cultivar. I'll have to check with them. But the cultivar, what's in single quotes, is dark. So this is a real dark Encyclia cordigera. The flowers, I think, for a cordigera are fairly large. and dark. They're really well formed, really nice. On this spike there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About half of them open. And on this one, we've got about the same number of flowers and only 4 open. So this hasn't quite peaked yet. So there's still a lot of flowers that are open here. It's a nice flower. I like the plant and how the plant looks. Again, it's got this nice shiny base of these pseudobulbs on this plant. But the flowers are okay, but this is, again, oh my goodness. This is the fragrance on this. I guess it's kind of like it's mostly rose, but then I'm smelling a little bit of lilac in here too. So this is a really nice fragrance, and I have this hanging up on my fence down there, and in the morning when I was out this morning, you get close to it, you can smell it. Actually, these two guys are close together. So, but it's this one because they smell, the fragrance on them is a little bit different. But a really nice fragrance on this tall plant. Really, I think probably what's going to happen, it's in a pretty nice sized pot, but I think because these 2 new growths are near the end of the pot, if it puts out 2 new pseudobulbs or more, in this pot, when considering how the 2 new bulbs are close to the edge, it's going to need to be repotted. I'm not sure how it'll do, but these are, again, the bulbs on this and how, glossy and shiny and plump they are. It's one of the things that makes this plant, in my eyes, an attractive plant. The flowers, obviously, the fragrance, duh. But I really like this plant. And these guys, again, these are the ones that at least for me, that I bring onto my lanai so that I can smell them all day long. Again, late in the day on these guys, and they're all still very fragrant. One of the reasons I love Cattleya type orchids. All right, so again, these plants that I'm really excited about, it was a surprise because none of these were open when I left here 3 weeks ago, and they're all open, full bloom here, coming up on full bloom here. What I want to do is get behind the camera and show you some, not all of some of the other flowers and surprises that I've got going on in my collection. All right, so give me a break. I'll get behind the camera. Okay, and we are back. So this is not a Cattleya, so this is one of my dens, and I thought this was going to be a first bloom on this dendrobium. This is a dendrobium that I picked up when I was visiting the orchid market in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I brought this home, and then the tags got confused, and I was confused, and I lost track of this, and all I knew is that this is one that I brought back from Thailand, and this had a bloom spike on it, and it bloomed for me, and now that it bloomed, I know that it's similar, that it's the same as some of my other orchids, and this is Dendrobium Judy roots. But this is one that I have, and I've got a few of these. Apparently this plant got divided a few times because I got this same plant growing on the date palm in the front of my house, and it's blooming and it's doing well. But I like this Dendrobium. It does well for me. The ones on the tree in the front of my house, they're doing really well. But it just these are nice flowers, and this is a nice spike. It took this plant a little while to grow, but now that it has grown, it seems to be doing really well. And I do want to show you a couple more dens here. So this, I don't know, we're going to may have some backlighting issues on this, but this is Wu Lang, and I've showed this to you repeatedly. And this is a Wu Lang that's right here, and then this is also another Wu Lang that is up in my tree right here. And I've got a lot of progeny plants from Wu Lang. So I have a self from Wu Lang, and that is right there. It's going to bloom soon, and I've got some interesting results from a self of Wu Lang. A lot of times what happens is you get you don't quite get the same purple coloration. The nicest one that I've had is it's got kind of purple fringe purple on the sepals. So I'm curious to see what this looks like. I've got a lot of seedlings from a self of this, which is Wu Lang. So the progeny plant from Wu Lang here is sitting pretty close to the mother plant, and this is really a very good parent. I've also used Wu Lang, and I've crossed Wu Lang with Judy roots right here. And if we go down here, this is right here. I don't know if you can see the tag, but the tag says this is Dendrobium Woohoo, which is Judy roots times Wu Lang. So Judy roots was the parent on this, but look at the root system that's growing out on this. This is a seedling. This is a progeny plant from that. So it's doing really well, and we'll see what happens. That's probably still has a few years to bloom. Okay, right next to it, just as far as surprises go, this is a fowl that was just loaded. This is another one of my no ID fowls. The only label on this is that it came from my daughter, but there's no name on that. And I do want to show you one of my other fowls. This is growing right here, and this is just doing. I like this. It's doing really well. Another no ID. I really need to buy some Phalaenopsis where they're known, where there's a name associated with this. But really nice color, and from looking at this, it looks like it would be fragrant, but it's not. Okay, moving on. I do have to show you this, one of my favorite Cattleyas, and this thing just blooms a lot. So this is Odom's Grand Delight, and I use this in a lot of my crosses. This was not blooming when I left. This is in a huge pot, but I've got on this bloom spike has 3 blooms on it, and I don't know if you can tell how big they are, but those flowers they're pretty big. Well, you can see the chair right there that this pot's sitting on. So these are big flowers in this little on this plant. So I like it. I like the richness of the color in the lip. To me, it is just striking, the color in that lip there. Anyway, moving on a little bit, I'm excited as we go up here and look on the fence. We've got either, I don't know how you pronounce it, a Myrmecophila or Myrmecophila. I've got my first bloom spikes coming out. I think I have 3 spikes coming out on this plant. I don't know how big they're going to get. I hope they stay small. I've got on this plant back here on a Dulatiaca. This plant has, I don't know if you can see, if you can tell, but I pollinated the crap out of this before I left, and I had no idea what I was going to get. And about half, a little more than half of the crosses that I made looks like it's given me seed capsules. So I'm pretty excited about this. My seedlings over here are doing well. So what I want to do is go around, and I want to show you some other stuff. Here's one of my surprises that really wasn't, it's not orchid related, but I had no idea that this Amarillis was blooming, was going to be blooming. And just, I mean, look at that. Those are nice flowers. The only problem is this thing's loaded. So I've got this plant right here, and because half of it's in the sun, you're not really getting a good indicator. But this has this is a big plant, has lots of flowers on it. Sorry, not an orchid, but really, really beautiful flower, and doing well. The flowers don't last very long, and then for most of the year you don't see anything. But anyway, it's nice. Needs fragrance. As you can tell, look at the floral organs on that. The anther and the stigma are just, they're huge. So easy to cross. Not orchids. All right, so moving on, I do want to show you a couple of things back here. So this is Hawaiian Prominence. These are new blooms that came out on Hawaiian Prominence, and then when you go below that, this is new blooms on Mahina Yahiro Mishima. So these are doing pretty well. I haven't crossed this yet, but I might. This plant is pretty big. This was loaded before. It does need to be divided. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn the camera off and just find a few more things for you to take a look at. So I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, and we're back. So this is a no ID on Cium. I don't even know where I think I got this in a garage sale a few years ago, and I wanted it was actually a rack that a bunch of orchids were sitting on, and I just wanted the rack for my orchids. And the person said when they were selling them to me that I'll throw in the orchids for free. So I got a lot of phals and on Sidiums and a few other things. And this is one of those. Blooms really well, been doing really well. I don't know what it is though, but look, it got a nice long bloom spike on it right here, and just a nice, and it's not a spacillatum. I have spacillatum and they're spiking, but they're not blooming yet, but it's a different flower. So this is an unknown on Cium. There is a known on Cium right behind it, so this is not flowering yet, but it will be. And I've had this plant for a while, so this is a sherry baby, and it's got 3 spikes that I can see, and it looks like some of those spikes are going to be open in a little bit. Love the chocolate that'll come out on that. Okay, I do want to show you just a few more as we move over here to my pergola. And I want to show you one, but I'm not going to pull it down, but I just want to show you up here. I'm not even going to be able to see it, but right here, I did not see that bloom spike when I left, and it looks like it's just barely open today, and it'll be open probably more tomorrow, so I can't quite show you what's going on. But these orchids are doing they're doing pretty well. I've got everything's up in there, and I got to get it down. There's a Kayogushi right there, really nice fragrance on that. I do want to show you one more thing. I got a lot of seed capsules on this thing, but this is I don't know if you can see, that's a monster. That's got to have 2 million seed capsules in there. That's just big. So anyway, a lot of stuff coming. I've got more plants blooms are about to open. I've got a lot of nice growth on many of my different orchids. New pseudobulbs coming out. This one is just going crazy, but I got a lot that are doing that. Anyway, I don't want to get caught up. I don't want to be going too long with this. So what I'll do is I'll share some of this for another video that I'll put together. More surprises. I'll wait till I got a few more flowers that are open, and then I'll give you another show. All right, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you could click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, that's all I have for today. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.